Well, and so again, constitutional kook headquarters, and more in the way of news and current events, especially with the 9 parts, aka the U.S. Supreme Court. And again, they're dealing with this abortion issue, quote unquote, and not very effectively. But people, you have to wake up out there. You got to realize the NRA, the NAACP, civil rights lawyers are not your friends. They want to keep this stuff going on as long as they can without getting a solution. Because if they do that and raise the right issues pursuant to the Constitution for the United States, they're out of business, aren't they? No, and I've known not from day one, but in fact, I'm headed into my 40th year next month, which is February, but for a long time that, the 14th Amendment and civil rights is not the answer in any case, most particularly with abortion. I mean, Roe v. Wade was known on the court at the time colloquially as Harry's abortion because hip pocket Harry Blackman wrote it. And it didn't identify any particular section of the Constitution which guaranteed the right, quote unquote. So it's been more or less a disaster ever since. Americans have gotten by with it, to be sure. But if we get up there with the real arguments, and I have a lot of them, and you can find out what they are, send me an email for information. youwinnincourt@gmail.com. And among other things, we're going to learn one of the best shots we can take at it, and there are more than one, is the Ninth Amendment that reserves rights specifically to the people not addressed in the Constitution itself. And that's a much stronger foundation. And wouldn't you know, just coincidentally, the 9 farts, aka the justices, have made one ruling on the Ninth Amendment. And this is now 130 odd years, or 230 odd years, into the formation of the United States and the Constitution. That's not accidental. And if we start doing that, this is what gets them, because under the Supreme Court's own quote unquote Ashwander rules, which I personally don't think apply to our cases, but listen to what they say there. The court will not address an issue of constitutional law in the advance of the necessity of answering it. And they know damn well no member of the Supreme Court bar in his right mind is going to bring an issue like this one. Not going to happen. And they know just as well that 99.5% of Americans don't have a clue. That's one of the goals of my lifetime work here, is to help my listeners out to where you understand your rights and know how to take action here. And trust me, I was at the head of the class in ignorance back when I got out of high school. I didn't know a damn thing. It was so stupid I volunteered in the Marine Corps at the height of the Tet Offensive. I mean, give me a break here. And I got saved by my mom. I mentioned this on my videos in the past. She put a curse on the Marine Corps and said they're not going to get them. And they didn't. So I never got to Vietnam, thank goodness. But that said, if you don't know any better, and by the way, how big of a deal is this? Think about this one. Because you go in there and you're facing a trial by jury, and I'm not going to be strongly advocating we do that across the board, because you're not going to get one. I've never gotten close to a jury, and I'm never going to, because if that happens, with my materials, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, full order. At the moment, you've got almost 600 jury instructions. I think somewhere around Easter of this year, it's going to be closer to 700. And they can't have that happen, but they can't prevent us from doing it, because the right to trial by jury, according to the course of the common law, goes back to the Magna Carta 800 years ago. And that jury has the power to rule on the facts and the law. That's the ultimate check and balance here we have on these out of control politicians all over the place, especially in my erstwhile hometown of Washington, D.C. And these are the kind of issues that we need to be addressing, particularly with respect to abortion. But trust me, it works just as well with mortgage banksters, student loans, IRS, family law court, you name it. None of them exist. And there are a lot more issues, like I say, that you'll learn. that we can use in these contexts too. And the crown jewel of my unopposed issues being a seemingly astounding fact that there are no states. Simply put, and as you'll see from requesting information from me, I have an 83-page unopposed brief on that question, which means we're right and they're wrong. And without states, the whole thing collapses because that's what it was built on, sovereign, independent states. What we have now is not 100% clear. It looks a lot like me over the course of my decades of study, that no matter where you are, you're in a federal, insular, territorial possession. And these bastards, especially in Washington, D.C., think that we have the same citizenship that they have in Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Mariana Islands. I mean, how crazy is that? And a lot of people, from what I understand these days, Chinese go over there in Mariana Islands when the wife is prepared to give birth. So the baby is born on American soil, quote unquote, and has the same citizenship that they think you and I have. And I understand too, a lot of these kids are getting social insecurity checks over there in China too. You tell me how screwed up that is. But these are the issues we need to be raising. And you can do all of them and learn all of them. And it will be some work. I think it was Franklin that said eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. But you got me having your backs here with my paperwork. You're not going to have to spend 10,000 hours in those musty old stacks of law books like I did back in the day in UC, Berkeley, and Hastings back when I could get into them. Thank God with the computer, it's a bit easier to do now than it was then. But I'm glad I learned the way I did. It's one of those things. But you'll have me, and you get, with my materials, you get free telephone, consultations. You get complimentary updates of all new documents, that I do for up to a year from when you made your original order. And you get a complimentary Zoom appearance at a contested hearing, and they can't have that happen. They have me speaking to a jury, just like I'm doing now. The ball game is over, which is a big reason I got a case in Oakland dismissed, 14 felonies for a time-served plea deal. And when they first saw me, they were dismissive, condescending, get the hell out of my face. But they were the ones that didn't go to trial because they knew that, I was going to testify, and they knew they couldn't stop me. That's the difference between putting on a real defense and ineffective assistance of counsel from a goddamn state bar association attorney who are also not your friends, by the way. So I've strayed a little bit from abortion, but you get the idea here. We ask different questions, and here's that pesky Supreme Court again. What do they say? We will not construe the issues of constitutional law broader than the precise fact to which it is to be applied. So Roe v. Wade doesn't apply. That's a 14th Amendment case. You're going to learn the 14th Amendment has never existed. So that case didn't matter, even it was the quote unquote law of the land, but we have much better ways to do it. So we can get in there, and like I said, virtually across the board here, because they all think we're federal territories. And if you go to the Wall Street bankers, if you get into their back rooms in their bank there at 120 Broadway, New York, the maps they probably have, you look from coast to coast, there's nothing there. And there shouldn't be. It's all Washington, D.C. That's what they've done to us with those war amendments and the Reconstruction crap. And you'll learn a lot about that too. Send me an email, uwinnincourt@gmail.com. It's stunning. But once you see the perspective, and I didn't get it right away either, it took me a while. Once I did, I said, that's amazing. Look at the power that we have if we only know about it and how to use it. It's that good, and it changes our lives, our children's lives, and makes it better for our posterity. Exactly what we, the people, did when they framed the Constitution in order to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Not IBM, not Chase Bank, not Microsoft, us. Simple. That said, Be sure to like the videos, tell your friends, subscribe, get the word out. The sooner we cut out this divide and conquer crap and all of us work together across the board, Africans, Asians, and Americans, the quicker we get these bastards off our back. Thank you.